Did you just buy a swing away heat press and don't know how to use it? Well, you're in the right place. My name is Simply Shy, and today's tutorial will be all about how to use your swing away heat press. And stay tuned to the end, guys, because there will be tips and tricks about your swing away heat press that's important to know. All right, so if you're just here to figure out what is a swing away heat press, I'm gonna do you a favor and just tell you in the beginning. So a swing away heat press just means that it can move from right to left, and this one can go even all the way in the back and come back around, so it does swing 360. So that's a swing away heat press. The difference from any other one is it doesn't go up and down like a clamshell. So let's talk about this heat press. It basically came all the way assembled. I just had to plug in a couple of pieces. I had to plug in this piece right here on the side of the control box, and it didn't have any feet on it yet, so I just had to adjust the 4 feet and put them onto the heat press. It was heavy, so I did have to have somebody help me lift it because it was just really heavy coming out the box with all the other accessories. And then I just had to set it up with the temperature and the timer, and then put in the power cord, and it was ready to use. So let's get into the mechanics of the machine, and I'm gonna tell you guys about a couple of things that we see on the machine. So right here is the control box. The control box, it controls the temperature and the timer. So there's a couple other buttons on the machine too. So this is just the decrease, the mode, the addition, and the pause and the play. So this machine does have a timer on it, but it's not automatic, so you have to set the timer manually every time that you want to use it. To start the timer, you have to press the play button, and to end the timer, you have to press the pause button. Going towards the middle of the machine right here is the pressure knob. So going down on the pressure knob means more pressure, and going up on the pressure knob just means less pressure. If you're using transfer, it might ask you to use more pressure, high pressure, or to use low pressure when you're dealing with certain transfers. I know that when I press my t-shirts, I use high pressure, so I'll go all the way down. Compared to when I'm pressing a hoodie, I might use medium or low pressure and come up, so that the top of the heat press iron will come up, so it'll be less pressure on the garment. In the middle of the machine right here is the handle. So the handle just lets us press down so that we can clench our garments and heat them up. And then you just pull it up to release it. The top right here is plastic, so it won't get hot. You don't have to worry about this, but this part right here, it gets hot. Sometimes right here, it might get a little bit hot depending on how long I'm using the machine. So let's move this to the left-hand side, and I'll just show you guys some of the things that's down here. Right here is the silicone pad, and underneath the silicone pad is the foam pad. You place your garment on top of these two to protect your garments from the plait. And this heat press, I'm really happy about this. This heat press, it slides out. So it has a little slide out drawer, but just be careful not to take it all the way to the end, because it will come off the track if you pull it all the way towards the end. So you just place your garments on top of the silicone pad, and you could just move this heat iron out the way. So therefore you can see fully your whole design and what you're doing. I know that sometimes this could be beneficial when the shirt is a lot bigger, or if there's a hoodie or a sleeve that you're pressing on your iron, but this is really good so you can move the stuff out the way and don't have to worry about being burnt. Compared to the clamshell, well, I know a lot of cheaper clamshells, they don't open up that wide, so you'll just be peeking and peeking and peeking and trying to pull your garment back, and you can get burnt. But this right here, this is like 100% avoidable from you being burnt. So let me push this back in, turn this back around, and guys, I'll show you the temperature setting and the timers. Let me just plug this up. All right, so that's plugged up. Let me turn it on. And to the right side of the control box is the power button and the restart button. So usually this takes like roughly 5 minutes. Alright guys, so the heat press is done heating up, and it says that it took about 3 minutes and 5 seconds to warm up. I did start it a little bit late, so I'm gonna add like an extra minute on there and say it took about 4 minutes for it to heat up at 312, because I did start it a little bit late. But let me show you guys how to work the temperature and the timer on here. So right here it says temp, set, and then time. We'll click it one time for the temperature, and right here when it starts to blink, we can decide to go up or down. So I'm gonna go down to 300. And then I'll click mode again, and it'll set it, and I'll hold that and click it again, and then it should start going down to 300 degrees. So while that's going on, I'm just show you how to set up the timer. The timer is basically simple, the same thing. So you'll click it 3 times, and they'll have time glowing up, and they'll have set glowing up. So we're just going to put our timer to 15 seconds. So now that the timer is set to 15 seconds, let's press the first shirt. And with the first press, we're just going to get the moisture out of the shirt. I'm about to grab the shirt. This is our shirt. It's a medium youth shirt, and the good thing that I like with this heat press, since it is a 12 by 15, it's really good with kid shirts and with youth shirts because the size is just right. Compared to adult shirts, the heat press is kind of too small, but this is the only heat press that I have at the time, so I just deal with it. So when I'm doing adult shirts, I may have to press it at the top and then press it at the bottom. I might have to press it about 2 or 3 times just to get all the moisture out the shirt, and then again for the design since the heat press is so small. So I'm just going to press this first one for moisture, and when I pull it down, I'll push the play button so that the timer can go off. And the time button will glow up green, so that's how I know that the timer is on and working. I usually don't use the timer, but for y'all, I'm going to use it. So when the timer goes off, we'll just push the pause button and then pull it up. Now that the shirt is moisture free and pressed, I'll go get a design to put on the shirt so I can show you guys how that presses out. So I like to fold my designs in half so that I know the middle of the design will match up with the middle of the shirt. So, and when you fold it in half, fold it on the sticky side. If you fold your design the other way, both of the pieces of vinyl will meet with each other and they'll be hard to pull up. So you might pull the vinyl off of the transfer sheet. So when you fold your designs, make sure that you fold it on the side that's not sticky so that they won't stick onto each other. So let's put this design onto the shirt. Make sure that it's flat. I feel like this is like the middle of the shirt, so let's see. Alright, good. And I'm just gonna get my Teflon sheet to put over this design so that I'm not burning nothing. And then I'll set this down for 15 seconds and I'll press the play button. Then pause and we're done. So this vinyl is a hot pill, so I could pull it up right after I take the heat press, take it off the heat press. So I'm just cool it a little bit though, because I hate touching this and it'll be super hot. But see, it came up with no troubles. But I do like to press my designs twice just to know that the vinyl is down on the shirt, and that even the places that didn't get even pressure when I pressed it the first time, they'll now get it the second time. Just turn the timer on. Alright, so guys, this is the design. Let me pull this out. This is the design that I made on the heat press just now. This is it. It looks a little high up, but it's cool. It's nobody's shirt. I'm just showing it to you guys. Alright guys, since you stayed this long into the video, it's time for the tips and tricks. This is the time for confetti. Alright, so guys, this is my tip number 1, shirt alignment rulers. I bought these from Amazon and they come in sizes infant, toddler, youth, and adult. So basically what I like to do when I have these is use these to align my shirt for the design. So you can see that this shirt came out a little bit crooked, but if I would have used my shirt alignment rulers, the design would have been exactly where I needed to be. So this is really good to use when you're making like a group of shirts for the same person and you want all the shirts to look alike. But other than that, this is just a really good technique to have because your design won't be too high on the shirt or won't be too low on the person's stomach. If I would have used this when I was making the shirt, then the design would not have been up so high. It would have been just right in the middle and on the chest like you would want the design to be. All right, so tip number 2 is Teflon pillows. These right here are Teflon pillows, and I'm gonna show you guys how you use these. I bought these off of Amazon as well. And so basically what you'll do is take the pillow and put it in between the shirt. And when you do this, the design area will get heat and pressure dispersed evenly. So you won't have to worry about any hot spots or the design not being pressed on certain parts because the design is now elevated. So it's getting all the pressure and all the heat from the heat press. So I'm just going to take this out And then I'll get ready to show you guys tip number 3. Alright guys, so that leaves me to tip number 3, and that's a Teflon cover for your heat press. So basically the Teflon cover is just like the sheet. It'll just have scrunchy pieces on the side for you to slip it up over the heat plate on your heat press. I'm not going to really put this on there right now because this is still hot. So you'll just put the Teflon sheet cover over it and it'll scrunch up around the machine. So therefore you no longer have to use your sheet when you're making your shirts. And that could be such a convenience because when you're making 20, 30 shirts, or you have a whole bunch of Etsy orders and you have to keep on turning around to grab that Teflon sheet, that saves you about 2 seconds every time, and that 2 seconds adds up when you're a business owner. This is time saved and time to spend on something else. So get that Teflon sheet cover. It's really good to have, and you won't damage your machine if you ever forget to not use your Teflon sheet. Thanks guys for watching this long into the video. Somewhere along the screen will be a video about making great pictures for your Etsy shop. Click that video if that's something that you're interested in, and see you in the next video.